Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, the best place for product design, career growth and motivation. In this video, I'm going to show you my real UX portfolio presentation that got me offers from current company, Indeed, Google, Meta, Sony PlayStation, Zillow and 3 others. And before we get started, I ask you to press the like button and subscribe to my channel. It's going to be interesting here. Hey there friends! Today I want to walk you through my UX design presentation that I showed at least 200 times while preparing to interview my first tier companies. You need to watch this video until the end because I will explain which parts I adjusted and my strategy for going through the interview process. Watch until the end. Here is a summary of what I have learned. First, project selection. Carefully choose a project that you will show at the interview. Over time, I have accumulated several presentation variations which I showed to different companies and teams. For example, when I interviewed at Google, Meta and other large companies, I knew they prefer hybrid designers, so I showed work for a mobile application, in a car and a lot of others. At the end of the presentation, I always left space for additional questions. For example, I knew that Google really cares for inclusiveness and accessibility, so when Google asked me if I was working on accessibility, I immediately opened the work how I adapted the design for the people of Saudi Arabia, while always mentioning the difficulties that I had to overcome working with a multiple region team and the scale of the work. And for example, when I was interviewing with the Sony PlayStation, in the end, I left places to show my work on the developments of the menu of the platform for various games of the wargaming company. I made this choice because I knew that they would recruit the designer to work on their menu for their gaming platform. All employers like to see similarities between their open position and your previous experience. If you can show that you have already worked on a similar project and had terrific results, please do not hesitate to show it. Next, achievements. During the presentation, I consulted a million different people and their opinions. Ideas were different to show or not show my achievements. You can go straight to delivering the project or spend time on the introduction. I tried different options and tested them on various interviews with actual companies, and this is what I found. If you have achievements and what you are proud of in the professional field, then be sure to show it. For example, I emphasize that I worked with different people in the different countries, which is my advantage since I understand and can get along with people with diverse backgrounds. Also, in addition to a great experience in design, I showed that I am very active in the design community. This information shows your expertise, energy, desire to work on an idea and passion for your work. And next one, project structure. The project structure that you need to follow when showing your work. Tell about the company, tell about your role and responsibilities, tell about the structure of the team. I showed it to let them know that I worked in a large group and with the cross-functional teams. Tell a little bit about the process, but not to show what you know about the process, but what information you took out in the work process from point A to point B. Next, could you show some key features you changed, how and why you changed them, and what the result was. The result is one of the essential points. Metrics are an excellent indicator that you are understood what you wanted to improve and proved that you improved it. Before the end of this video, passing the interview is difficult, but treat it like another design project. For example, I changed my presentation countless times throughout my job search. At the same place, I saw that people were bored or did not understand, and they asked clarifying questions, and I changed the retelling by the non-verbal feedback of the viewers. By the end of the job search rounds, I knew in advance all the questions that would be asked during the presentation and how to answer them. I added the necessary pages in the end of the presentation. It was a kind of game in which it was tedious to convey information correctly. And interestingly, this approach took the pressure off me and added motivation to do more interviews. So now I'm going to show you my real presentation that I mentioned in the beginning of this video. Hi everyone, my name is Sati and I'm Senior Product Designer. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about myself and I'm going to showcase two of my projects. One is a travel app redesign and another one digital help center. So here is a little bit about me. I am a digital nomad. I am right now living in San Francisco, but I moved here from Berlin, Germany in 2017. Previously, I lived in Minsk, Belarus in 2014 and in Los Angeles in 2013. And originally, I am from Kazakhstan. In my previous work experience, I work on a different projects. For example, my current project, Lucid Motors, I am Senior User Experience Designer. I am working on Digital Help Center and 15 plus other features with a 6+ team so far. I also made the Saudi Arabia localization project and design system in Figma. In my previous work, I work as Senior Product Designer in a smaller startup from A to B. What I made there, I made a redesign of web, desktop and apps, iOS and Android. I made design system from scratch in a sketch. And besides that, before that, I worked in Minsk, Belarus for company Wargaming as a senior product designer. I created around 25 features with the 3 teams for 5 years. We won at that time Golden Joystick Awards as the best online game. Here's a little bit about my experience and what can I do. I made an in-car design experience. I am capable of doing designs for web, desktop and mobile, for mobile native apps, iOS and Android, for design systems, in iconography and digital arts. Here's a little bit about my personal life. I am really trying to contribute to my community. I am already for the few years online educator and YouTube creator and Medium blogger. Right now I have around 16K plus followers on YouTube channel and 355K total views. I am a speaker and host of different meetups and I host of my own conference that gathered last time around 1,200 plus participants. And last but not least, I'm design jury and also I won in different design awards that's really prestigious and I'm really proud about it. Besides my work, I have a family. I have a 6-year-old daughter kid and we are really love to spend time together. So I added this slide here specifically because I was contacted with a recruiter and she told that Google, they really prefer to see the personal life. So I decided to put here something memorizable. So that's why I decided to put here the photo of my daughter in a nuclear cap because I thought that it's going to be interesting for them to see it that I'm visualizing it. My first case study is going to be about from A to B app redesign. And here's a little bit about from A to B. It says search engine from A to B located in Germany, Berlin. And this is search engine that provides user to find great connections between the different cities and countries used by buses, trains, airplanes, everything within one app. And from A to B served in 15 countries, had around 700 plus providers and had 2.5 million total monthly visitors in 2019. My role at From A to B is a senior product designer. I worked there for 13 months and then we moved with the family to United States. What I did there, I made a design system from scratch in a sketch and also redesigns on web and native applications for iOS and Android. How my collaboration with the other teams worked, I worked as in-house service. I worked on design system and redesign. I made the branding and I collaborated with branding team with 2 marketers, 1 researcher, with 4+ engineers, 4 product managers and 6 product designers. Here's a little bit about research. What we did for this project within research, we collected around 184 survey responses, had around 15 users interviews, and different reviews in social media mentoring. And I read different reviews from social media monitoring. Here's a few findings from all this research have done. Users didn't find the main page useful. Users want to get recommendation on trips for their location. Users wanted to share their destination findings with family and friends. And users were afraid to share personal information. Here's a pain point that I tried to solve. First pain point is financial pain point. Findings the destination they can afford also allow them to experience what they need to fulfill for that trip. Trust pain point, lack of confidence that they are getting the best deal for the best destination. And process pain point, we requested too much from users or gave too little information about journey, which led the users to confusion. And then I showed some personas. I told them that we had two different personas. It's a business one and leisure. And the business one is a little bit older and have more income. And I talk about values and needs and goals. And leisure persona is persons who are a little bit younger and didn't have a lot of income, and just discussed the values and needs and goals. Then I described that also I helped researchers to work on jobs to be done framework, and we worked on it just to uncover in which activities our user participates, which problems did they have, and how we solve this problem within the redesign. And after this jobs to be done and research, we also shared and made a few sessions within our company just to showcase what we have found and getting their insights on it. My main focus was on accessibility within the cross platforms and driving a consistent and end-to-end user experience from the first touch point to the last to increase engagement. I just want to showcase that I did together with my team a lot of different pages. In total, there was around 390 plus components, around 250 plus key screens for web, iOS and Android applications. But on today's interview, I'm going to show only a few of them to make it shorter. I will start with the search and book happy pass that we assume that when users come to a LinkedIn page, they start searching, let's say from Berlin to Paris, and they have their dates. Let's say one traveler then push the search button, then they see the search results, and then they can go to trip overview. Within this trip overview, travelers will go and give the more travelers information on information page. This is really critical for European people because if you have a lot of family members, you can have different large sales on your trip. And the last one is review and book. And in today's presentation, I'm going to concentrate on the main page redesign, trip overview redesign, and travelers info page redesign. First page is main page. Which users' problems did we have? First is no information interesting for the users on the first screen. You can see it on before state here. Also, one way and return tab were missed by users. And on the right side, you can see the after. So which business problems we covered? We didn't retain users. We didn't make a profit from it because a lot of people just jumped off from our main screen. And sometimes we also redirected our users to our competitors. I think that this was done in the history of our startup company, but nobody decided to switch it off again. Here's a little bit competitive analysis that I tried to make, and I tried to gather different information what the other competitors have on their main page. For example, what I noticed that they had some kind of analytics and suggestions which trip at which date is going to be cheaper, or for example suggestions or what you can see there, some kind of travel guidance. After that, we had brainstorming with our team. During that brainstorming, I had around 6 designers and plus 1 UX researcher, and we conducted around 5 workshops. Outcomes of this workshop was we created perceptual patterns that help us throughout the redesign and not losing our identity as a startup. Validated all components and screens that were used and not used, so I more accurately can decide what we should delete and what should we correct. Redesign experiments, redesign evaluation, and feature prioritization. So everything what you can see on your screens, what we have done, and more that is not here. And here's like different explorations that I have made. First explorations was not useful for search. Actually, people didn't like these small containers like text inputs, but they really like that they can immediately see the search result. Second exploration had the larger containers with a text field, and users told that the search right now is useful, and they really like the popular destination section below the search area. And people told that they really like upcoming trips that they had on their main page. They really like popular destination, but they didn't like visual style because it didn't represent us our startup. And after that, we handled another workshop where I printed all the screens that we have done, and we just used dot voting to vote for different designs and to collaborate on what should we put in our prioritization and what not. Here you can see the end results. On the left side you can see before screen. The image did not carry any semantic load, never changed, nor took up significant space on the screen. Also, we had one way and return stops that people cannot actually see, so they saw that we can only provide the one-way trip. In the after screen you can see that search was modified. Now if user entered one date, then they received a one-way trip, and if 2 dates were selected, a round trip option was offered immediately. Also, we added this everyone favorite section with popular routes. Here is the second page improvement with trip overview page. You can see on the left side before version, and on the right side the iterations. First iteration was that when we showcased the overview page, we only showcased the outgoing trip, and we didn't show a lot of information there, so people told that it was lack information there. On the second page, I added missed information about fare and seat information, but we understood that return page missed, and people had issues with it. So with the third iteration, I added everything on the same page. It is fare and seat information, and also outgoing and return tickets. So you can see here that people really love this version because all the information was on the first place, and I shortened the whole journey by 2 different pages. And the third page improvement is going to be about travelers information page. So you can see right now on your screen, long. This screen, it was really long, and people usually drop off the screen. Here you can see on the left side the before and after lengths. So I decided to remove the address because based on our analytics, address was optional and people always skipped it, so it wasn't so important on this step. It was really important for the company that they will book these tickets. Also, invoice address was optional in Germany, and at that point we had a little bit problems because legal team apparently told that invoice address should be there and should be always displayed. But after my little work with legal team, and we just discovered that at that point on history it was requirements from German side, but as I understand on that moment when I did the design, it wasn't so strict requirement for it. So I decided to delete this section from this traveler information page because it wasn't so necessary for this page. And also we had really long terms and conditions that nobody read actually, and it took so much place and a lot of people drop off from this page. So here you can see the before section and the final one. It's shortened by a few sections. So here you can see success metrics from this redesign work. By 10% we reduced average time spending on the checkout. By 28% we increased booking conversion rate, and by 18% we reduced abandon rate. And here's one page about a design system from scratch. I feel like it was really massive project, and that's why I want to mention it here. Which platforms were designed? It web, desktop, iOS and Android applications. Which foundations? We created design principles, perceptual patterns, color system, typography, iconography, images library, grid system and layouts. And after that, I created components library together with our team and terms of use. Besides this, this project won in a lot of design awards. We participated in around 11 design awards and won in 28 different categories, including Red Dot Design Awards in 2 categories for websites and applications. So do you have any questions? Then I just waited. If nobody have any questions, I skip to the next one. It's a case study number 2, Digital Help Center. Lucid Motors is a company based in United States. It is a producer of luxury electrical vehicle, and we are main competitors of a Tesla. We have really unique users that spend a lot of money on luxury things. They really care about themselves and valued technology on the road. My role in the company was a senior UX UI designer. I had experience around 15 plus months at this company, worked on Lucid Air that was released in 2021 and Lucid Gravity that's in production right now. My cross-functional peers is product designers, UX researchers, engineers, PMs, copywriters, service team, portal team, branding team. I specifically mention it here, so I wanted to showcase that I work in a large team and it's not like a small startup. And what I did is user experience, user interface designs, strategic thinking, prototyping, design system localization, and data visualization. Here I'm going to talk about the project itself, owner's manual, which the problems owner's manual, like physical owner's manual, have. It's a big, bulky and text heavy. It's used when things go wrong. Its paper copies are often lost. And which business problems did we have with a physical one owner's manual? It's a production cost and static, unable to add new information. And since you know that electrical vehicle, it always have updates and it should update users about their updates. That's why it was not good for our users to have paper owner manual. So my goal was to move from paper owner manual to digital one inside of the car. And then I faced with the challenges. First, it was like my product manager support me with a PDF file, but this PDF file contained only one section from the whole owner's manual because it wasn't ready at that moment. Our third party worked on it. I had only access to the one part and I had limited deadlines. Because of this, no final source of material. It was really difficult to anticipate what's going to be there. So first of all, what we thought about, just open this PDF file inside of the vehicle. Pros was that it was fast and easy on implementation, and cons was that there was no navigation. It was really hard to read because you cannot enlarge or make it smaller, your fonts, and it looked cheap. And I feel like for the car that costs a lot of money, it's really ridiculous to implement something that look cheap. So my phase 1 was about MVP, and I faced 3 challenges in this MVP. You can see on the left side PDF file and on the right side after design was applied. First challenge was about readability. I added navigation because it was really hard to scrolling through this, let's say 300 pages owner's manual and to not miss something. So navigation was crucial for this experience. Also, I created new page anatomy. You can see on the PDF file that previously it was 2 tables of content, and it was really hard to read it on digital board because you cannot read it, select different pages. You just scrolling down, it's showcase you differently this information, and it was really difficult to understand that you are jumping on the second page. So with this, it was decided to reduce these 2 tables to the one. And also I tested different types of text on our users inside of the car. And for MVP, I just manually choose the best option for the user. But for the next iterations, we decided to add this functionality when the users can just adjust it manually by themselves. The second challenge was about that our interface inside of the car is a dark mode and everything regarding our guidance should be dark. But when I implement these designs and we transform this PDF to our designs inside of the car, it just showed that we had these white rectangles, and these white rectangles, it was really strange looking on this page, and we cannot change the illustrations. So I just talked with our visual designers and our design system team and showcase this problem. So we decided as an exception to go on with a white paper background for this feature and to not change it within our guidelines recommendations. And the third challenge was about the layout. Do you remember that I told that at the beginning I had only one section, so I didn't know the whole structure of this owner's manual book. So I just anticipate that it's going to be just two different levels of this information architecture. So you can see that on the left side, my expectations was that there's going to be one level and sub-level, but in reality, there was three levels. And because of this, it was really hard to read all this information because people was lost when they opened the second level. They didn't see the third level and they were just basically missed where they located. So as a solution here, I decided to experiment with the different varieties of this information architecture. So I decided to stop on the two level of menu that it was previously and play with the expandable information on the right side and distribute this third level on the right side. So you can see for the first exploration that I decided to do expandable list, but people told that it was really hard to scrolling down because they would like to push each of this section and open it first and then scroll. So it was extra effort for them. For the second exploration, I decided to unsplit everything and just made the scroll down version without these small sections. So users told that it was finally faster because scrolling is faster than tapping on the information, but they told that it was really hard to understand which information within this sub section. So for the third exploration, I added table of content on the beginning of the screen so they can tap on it and just automatically scroll down until this information that they wanted to find. So based on the user research, they told that it was easier to understand what to expect. Anchor links helped accelerate scanning speed by approximately 9 seconds. So here you can see the user testing results and prototype that I created that we tested inside of our car. So you can see here that it was faster navigating by approximately 17 seconds if to compare it with the first result, faster on scroll and scan, easy to understand what to expect. But at the same time, people told like it was lack of search because we didn't have search area here. And here's success metrics. Customers' usability, the average search time was reduced by 14%. Scalability, the cost of updating the owner's manual was reduced. Everyone for participating to this interview. I was really pleased to show my case study, and do you have any questions? And usually, for example, Google and other big companies, teams ask, did I work on accessibility projects? And I knew that they will ask about it, so I just prepared the third case study about Saudi Arabia localization. And here I just told about the project itself, that our company expanded for Saudi Arabia region, and it was really large project for us to translate all the vehicle displays and monitors to Saudi Arabia RTL, right to left interface. And here I just told a little bit about problem again, that we are right now in the English word, in another different languages we are reading from left to right, Altier, and the Arabic word reading from right to left. And it's really easy for mobile application. They even have simulation that you can just apply these plugins and it automatically will adjust it for you for the right RTL world. But I told that in car it was a little bit more complicated because we had not standard screens and our shape of the screen do not allow us to just basically simply translate it to Arabic. That's why we made different versions of this. So here I just explained that it's a version from left to right, and I had two sections. And here's the version from right to left, and basically I assume that it should be 1, 2, 3 as on a mobile phone. But in real life, when we tested within the users, it's actually had interesting outcomes that people really love the way layout was on the English version, but just the text within the sections was translated to Arabic language. So that's why we decided to go on with this version. So I just simply showed that we made guerrilla testing with our Arabic users inside of our office here. And here is the scope. I mentioned the scope a little bit, that I worked on this project around 4 months, created around 320 plus components, around 220 plus screens. I worked on Lucid Air, Sedan, and a plus mobile application. And impact of this, our CEO on the publication on internet said that this project actually will help us to increase Lucid value over the next 15 years for $3.4 billion. And this is it. I don't have here something else, but for different company, I adapted my presentation a little bit. For example, for Sony PlayStation, I knew that they would really interest in a World of Tanks experience. So I just created another different pages for this company, and I just explain again for the same structure that what is about this company, what this company is doing. Also, I a little bit mentioned who is playing these games, what is our archetypes of the players. I showcased the before and after version of the designs. I explained a little bit different explorations, what the version did they have. I will not telling a lot of things here. I will just scroll down a little bit. I feel like it's really important if you have different experience that's suitable for the company that you are interviewed for, you should showcase this experience to them because it's usually easier for employers to visualize you as employee if you have already worked on similar things, similar platforms, and they would really highly appreciate if you will show that something relevant to their work. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that it will help you with creating your own presentation for your interview process. Please comment below if you like this type of videos and I should record more. Thank you very much for subscribing to my channel. It really means a lot to me, and have a nice week. Goodbye.